Amanda. I'm Detective Alman. This is Detective Grass.
How you doing?
Hi.
And before we start, because we are doing a criminal investigation, I am going to advise you of your rights, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you use can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to an attorney and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, one will be appointed at free charge. You can exercise these rights at any time, and you understand your rights.
Yes.
And having them in mind, are you willing to talk to us?
What's my charges?
Well, we're going to charge you more than likely, it depends on how today goes, for trafficking and stolen property.
How's that?
Well, that's what we're going to talk about, okay? And like I said, a lot depends on how the day goes, the interview.
All right, listen, you guys.
Pardon me?
I just got out of prison. I am no way ready to go back. It's only been 4 months, 5 months, and I'm sure this has to do with the Zimmermans, right?
Zimmerman, the
You
jewelry.
know it is. There's no question that
Yeah,
you know exactly why you're here.
It's a Zimmerman, the jewelry thing.
Yes. And you know why you're here. We know why you're here. We have the video from the casinos, from where you met them. We have a person that was in the room
I
who
have to
was
tell
in
you
jail.
guys, I did not know what they were doing until after the fact. They asked me to get them a room, and I got them
Well,
one.
that's the big problem. See, we know that they did. The problem is they involved you in it.
Yes.
And now
Yes.
that's why you're here.
Now,
But at the same time,
And I knew Joe was going to get me in some kind of trouble. That's why I was trying to stay away from him.
but at the same time, you gotta be honest because they did involve you in it. But we don't want to task you with more things than you're actually involved in. Does that make sense?
Yes.
We understand this. You're not the mastermind behind K-Mart.
No. I had nothing to do with that.
but we do know of a lot of stuff that you are involved in, that you were involved in after it happened. And we, like I said, one of the individuals has already told us about everything.
The only thing I did do was get them a room, and that was a big mistake, and I threw them out of it because of that.
Well, that isn't exactly true.
Well-
And we know that.
Well, you also got some of the jewelry, and we need to know where that jewelry's at. Besides what's been pawned.
And we know that
You
you
can't hold
have
on to
some
that.
of
You
it.
can't hold on to that jewelry that they stole. That
I
needs to
don't
go back
have
to
none of it.
Kmart.
I don't have none of it. He gave me a couple necklaces and I think a couple rings, and I did sell those.
And we know that ain't true. We know you had a whole bag of it. We know
No.
that they separated it in the room. And we also know that you went back and took some of Joe's jewelry also. Now, if you want to stick to it, that's up to you. Now, we're not here
It's the truth.
to play games. We're
That's the
here to
truth.
get some jewelry back. We know you have jewelry. We
I have
know you're
none.
bringing some of it out a little bit at a time. I know supposedly you threw it in the river, which we know didn't happen. So that's where we're at. You say you don't want to go back to prison, that's up to you.
I left a bag of it in somebody's room over at the Colorado Bell, and I haven't seen that guy since then.
Who was the guy?
His name is Steven.
Who?
Steven?
But we don't
I
have
don't-
a
I know
clue
his
who
last
his
name.
last name is. Yeah, we
No,
never
but you
do.
can't miss him. He looks like an idiot, swinging
Who's-
his arms around.
Who's Josh?
My boyfriend,
What's his last name?
Morden.
Morgan?
Oh, Morton.
Okay. Who all of you give jewelry to pawn it and sell it for you?
Is it Josh or Justin Morton?
Joshua.
The guy was he arrested in a raid a couple months ago?
I have no idea. I just got with him like maybe 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay.
Who'd you give the jewelry to pawn it or sell it?
I gave it to Betty.
And who else?
Betty.
No one else.
Nobody
So when
else.
I passed you sitting in the car out of the gold exchange, you had nothing to do with
I
the
gave it to
stolen
Betty.
jewelry.
Betty gave it to Ricardo.
And why were you there?
I was there because I was just in the, Ricardo was giving me a ride.
And so Ricardo's going to sell us. Yep, she just happened to be in the car when I went and pawned it.
Yeah.
You just
Well, imagine
happened-
if it's your jewelry, you're at least there to get the money. So I know you're not in the habit of goodwill and just giving out jewelry for fun of it.
Right. Well, I was all stolen anyways.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not. Listen, Betty's the one that told me about Ricardo, that Ricardo would sell it. Okay? Betty is the one that was selling it to Ricardo. I had nothing to do with Ricardo selling it. I was in the car with him, yes. I'm not saying I didn't give him any jewelry to sell. You know what I'm saying?
You're not saying that you didn't give him some?
I gave it to Betty and Betty gave it to him.
Okay. And so when we talked to Ricardo, we should have grabbed him. That's who you were with, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so Ricardo, I'm sure he's gonna back that right up, don't you think?
Back what up?
What you just told us.
Well, he should.
How much jewelry did Betty end up with?
I have no idea.
I know you and
I
Betty
know.
are good friends.
Yeah, we are.
And I think you would know
Well,
exactly
we used to
what
be good
Betty's
friends.
got.
We
Well,
used to be
until
good
maybe
friends.
today.
All right, what happened that night? The night they broke into K-Mart.
Yeah, just
To help us understand exactly what happened and how you fell into this position.
He called me at like 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning,
And who's he?
Joe,
Okay.
and asked me if I would do him a really big favor. And I said, yeah, what? And he goes, will you get me a room? And I go, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. And then I got him a room.
Where were you when he called you?
I was up at my dad's.
Okay.
I went down to the casino. I went and I got him a room. After I got him a room, I was like, what are you guys up to? What the hell is going on? That's when they decided to tell me that what they did.
And what did they do?
That they broke into K-Mart.
And who was he with?
Mason was with him.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay.
But by my understanding, Mason had nothing to do with it. Joe's, never mind. Joe's usually the mastermind behind all of his bullshit, which there's a lot. And you guys know that.
Mm-hmm. Well, Joe's right where he should be.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can keep him there this time.
Well, I know a lot of things that he's done.
Well, we're
And I
told.
know where all of his stuff is.
Do you know where it's buried in the yard?
It's not buried.
Huh?
It's not
Then
buried.
where is it? That's why you're sitting here, is to help us out if we can try to help you. Don't you understand that?
Yeah. Listen, everything that he gets, he takes and puts it in his mother's room. And his mother usually puts it in the attic in the house, where they go outside, where the garage is. And you know where the lift is for the vehicles?
Mm-hmm.
Well, right there, there's a shed. There's a little, like a trailer that goes onto the back of the truck. Right there, you climb up on top of the shed right here, and you go up on top of the other outside of the aluminum shed. And right there, where there's like a vent right there, that's where he stashes everything that he has.
And you think that's where the rest of the jewelry is?
Now, where the rest of the jewelry this time, no idea. But
What
a pretty good idea. If it's not in John's safe and it's not in Jill's mother's room, which she hides everything for him, it would be right there.
Well, we was in her room already and
We went
searched.
through everything. That lady's got boxes and boxes and boxes.
Oh, yeah,
of
I
bullshit for
mean, you're right.
days.
It's almost impossible to search it. I agree.
So you get him a room, they come up. So what happens when they get to the
fucking
room?
pull out all these fucking bags of shit, and I'm like, you guys, listen, I have been in enough bullshit. I'm done. I don't want to go back to prison. You know what I mean? I've had enough of this bullshit. Guys, I can't believe you guys even got me involved in this bullshit. Da, 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 da. I said, do what you're gonna do. Get your shit and get the fuck out. That's it. And they were like, okay, well, here's a necklace for you, and here's this for you, and here's a chain for you. And I go, whatever. So a little while later, I went back, and I seen him at the Aquarius. And I was like, did you clean that shit out of that room? And he goes, yeah, everything's picked up, blah, blah. I went back to the room just to verify if he did what he said he was going to do, and he didn't. He fucking lied to me. So I went, and I called him on the phone, and I said, get the fuck to this room now, and get this shit out of this room, because I'm not fucking going down for your fucking bullshit. You know, the first time I went to prison was because of his fucking stupid bullshit. Because I believed him and trusted him, and I'm not doing it no more. So fucking, he said, he started fighting with Josh, and him and Josh almost got in a fist fight, and then Mason looked at me and he goes, yeah, you're right, I'm sorry, Amanda. I go, you guys don't understand, I have a 3-year-old kid that I've only seen for 3 days. You know, it's not time for me to go back, and I'm not going back for your bullshit. So they said, okay, they cleaned it up. I went back a little while later, and they cleaned the room up, and I got the deposit back and I checked out. Then, the next day, I don't know, one of those days, they, Betty and Joe picked me up walking down the highway because I had nowhere to go or whatever, and they took me back to the Colorado Bell, and then me and Joe were fighting the whole time because I was like, you know, I can't believe you even did me like that. It was bullshit. And I'm supposed to be his best friend, and he fucking does me dirty like that. And Betty was mad at me because I wouldn't tell her where Joe was, and a bunch of stupid shit. And I was like, whatever, you know. And that was the last I had heard from him. And I went home and went to sleep until the next day, and that's when he called me saying, you know where my stuff is? I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. What stuff? Why don't you ask your other two friends? And I hung the phone up.
You know Charlie?
Mm-hmm. Charlie's bought a lot of Joe's stolen shit. A lot.
Including this stolen stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Did you go see him with any of your stuff?
Nope.
Were you with him when he went to Charlie's?
Nope.
Did he tell you he went to Charlie's?
Yep. And you know he's went to Charlie's with several items. A lot.
How much money do you think he got?
Altogether?
From Charlie in that short time he had it before we arrested him.
I know he said he got $2,000 the first day, first night. After that, I have no idea. I wasn't around him.
Where's Charlie right now?
He's not home?
No, he's hiding from us.
I would be too. He's I have no idea. Last time I heard from his daughter was the day he got Joe and them got arrested. That's it. I don't know. I know he has a house in Winslow or some shit like that. He owns a house down there.
Well, you had a bag of jewelry and you said you left it in a room.
It was a bunch of bullshit. It was like silver. It was nothing worth the fuck. So I just left it. It was all tangled and twisted together that Joe had left in the room that I grabbed out of one of his backpacks. That was it.
Well, you said that he called you up asking what happened to his stuff.
I didn't have
Who
it.
took that stuff?
I don't know. I have no idea. I know Mason was stealing shit from him too, and Betty.
Well, that's not the story we're getting, okay?
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I'm just telling you what the story we're getting is that when you were in the room, the jewelry was all over the bed. It was covered the bed out of the backpack, showing everybody what a great job he done. It was divided up into piles, and you got one of them for getting the room. Then you kept the key, went back, took more. Then, after that, you told them, you keep the room, I'm out of here, I don't want nothing more to do with you guys, and left.
That's
And now
not
that
true.
story fits a lot better with what we're hearing
That's not true.
than what you're telling us.
That is not true.
So when we look at the video, we can show, and believe me, you know and I know, they have video everywhere in that
Video.
casino. And we can show you leaving with nothing, or we can show that you went back and threw them out.
I told you guys. I went, this was a little while later. Okay, the first time I left the room, I went and got him some dope. Then I went back and gave it to him. Then I left a little while later, and then I went back, like several hours later. That's when I went back and I told him, I called him up, I left the room, I waited for him to come back. I waited out when I caught him going to the room. As he went to the room, I went to the room right behind him. That's when I got in an argument with him and started fighting with him, telling him this bullshit about all this shit being all over the place. He never divided any piles up and gave me shit. He gave me a couple necklaces and a couple chains. That was it.
Where do you get your money?
What money?
That's what I'm asking. What money?
I was working with my ex-boyfriend for a while. They're doing palm trees.
And how long ago was that?
About 2 months ago.
And so, where do you prefer gambling?
I gamble anywhere.
Huh?
I gamble everywhere.
Everywhere?
hmm
And so when we check the casinos for your card, do you use them for your comps? Oh, you don't use a card?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. How do you
I
get
don't
your
get any
room?
comps.
Huh?
I pay for them.
Your
And I
room?
very rarely pay for them. I don't get rooms a lot over there.
So the room that you guys were in that night or that morning, you paid for?
Joe paid for it.
Whose name's it in?
Mine.
Okay. And why didn't you put it in his name?
He said you guys took his ID.
We hadn't even seen him yet.
No, before this, the last time you guys arrested him.
It's hard to keep track. He's been arrested a few times.
Yeah.
You should have been allowed.
You said something that sparked my interest. You said all the stuff he's in. And I'm asking you because I don't know this, okay? It's straight truth. The last time K-Mart was burgled, was that Joe?
Mm-mm.
You know who it was?
Mm-mm. That I do not know. But I know a few things that he has done.
You know what?
I know a few things that he has done.
You know any
I'm
big
sure
jobs
you-
he's done?
Like what?
Are you guys going to let me out of here today?
We're going to talk about that. We understand.
Well, another thing that we're concerned about is if you have jewelry, there's no point in keeping it. You know that.
I have one necklace and one eagle. It's Betty has it somewhere, and I can get it from her.
If you have more past that, what I'm saying is, it doesn't make any difference whether you have that jewelry or not. All it does is help you to show that you're trying to help yourself by giving jewelry back to people that was stolen from.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling you.
I will return that to you guys.
But if you have more jewelry after that, because when we understand from talking to a few people, at least what you're telling them is you have a lot more than that. You have a bag of jewelry.
I don't. I swear on everything, I don't. There's a bag of jewelry that I left at that dude Steven's room, and I haven't seen him for weeks.
Was the jewelry from K-Mart?
Yeah. It was like the $10.
The cheap jewelry from K-Mart?
Yeah, it was not the top dollar stuff.
They didn't lose anything too cheap, believe me.
Oh, I'm sure Joe's crazy. He will take everything. And the whole reason why he did this was because he said he needed to pay for an attorney. And I go, all that's going to do is dig your ass a deeper hole. That's it.
I think he's figured that out now. Can you get that jewelry back from Steven?
As soon as I find him, yes.
Well, where does Stephen hang out? Or
Usually I run into him at the Colorado Bell. That's where I always run
does
into
he
him.
work? Does he do anything that you know of?
He's a tweaker, come on.
Okay, but I'm saying is that he's
What's his
got
last
to be.
name?
I have no idea. But I do not know. All I know is he does this all the time. He's an idiot. And he's really skinny. And he's a Mexican guy. I don't know. I
Well,
just
how'd you
met
end
him
up
from
hooking up with
Joshua.
him?
I met him from Joshua, my ex, and Betty.
Your ex.
I mean, my boyfriend. Yeah.
You just said ex.
I know.
Is there something you're not telling us there?
Well, I'm like, we're not exactly like, it's a mess.
Okay, so now I'm asking you this. Do you believe then that Betty would probably be the key to where a lot of this stuff is?
She was the last one with him besides Mason, yeah. And I know she's got a few bags of jewelry herself.
Well, we've heard that. Where's Betty living?
At her mom and dad's.
Where's that?
Honeysuckle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I can get that jewelry from her if she has it.
You can, you say?
Mm-hmm.
What about, we heard rumors through the grapevine that you were leaving town.
I wanted to leave town, yeah. I don't want to
Where
go
was
back
you going to go?
anywhere out of this fucking state.
Well, tell us where you had in mind so I can
Think
see.
about my mother's.
Where's that?
California.
Do you have an idea that we were probably going to find you at some point?
Oh, yeah.
You knew that when you saw me get out of the car up there.
Yes, I did. I knew my days were very limited.
Well, we heard you were headed to California with Josh. Colorado.
No, it's too far and too expensive. When you have no money.
Yeah, that'd be a problem. We also heard how you was going to get the money, but it's neither here nor there.
I know Betty has some jewelry that's melted down.
Okay. Did she melt it or did Joe?
I have no idea who melted it. I know half that stuff out there in his house is all stolen.
Let's take a little break for a minute. Okay, is that okay?
Yeah.
Do you need any more
Just a
water
minute
or
anyways.
anything, or are you good?
I'm fine.
Okay. That him?
Who's that?
We're just.
My boyfriend?
You said his name is Justin. You said his name is Justin Morton, right?
Joshua.
I meant Joshua Morton, right?
Right. That's
Yeah.
not him.
But Morton?
Like M-O-R.
G-E-N or something like that.
Oh, Morden.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. That's how you
Let me go look real quick.
Find out. Okay. Well,
Oh my, who's that?
not a bad looking guy. Okay, is that a little closer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Amanda, we're still having some trouble with this story that you're telling us, you know? I mean, it's just,
That's what.
there's too many people that's, I guess maybe they're all against you. I don't know.
Yeah.
You
Well,
think that's it?
Well, I'll give you credit. A lot of the story we do believe. We know you're trying to help yourself out. We know you weren't involved in the burglary. We know you didn't mastermind it. We already knew you got jewelry from it, and that's where the problem started for you. You know what I mean? When Joe's an idiot, when he breaks into K-Mart, you know, at that point you just got to get away from him. I understand how it works, and for me to say you should go call the police is just stupid. It's not going to happen on the street. You know what I mean? I understand that. I'm not going to hammer you, but you can't take the stuff either. And then, of course, just bad timing, him walking into the gold shop at the same time some of the jewelry is being pawned, and that just put everything together. Plus, we got the video of you. The problem is, everybody and their brother's telling us you have jewelry from this thing. Now, obviously, it's partially true because you're saying Steven has it, saying you did have it, but now Steven has it.
I left a bag in his room, but it wasn't nothing worth anything, you know what I mean?
But the problem is, it's worth something to people that it was stolen from. You know, at this point, it's stolen jewelry out there floating around, so it is worth something. More than dollar value,
that's
it's just...
if even the guy still has it. It's been fucking a week, you know what I mean?
Right.
I do know somewhere else where there's a chain at. It's a gold chain, and it's worth quite a bit, probably. And there's another ring, and two, but the ring is sterling silver, and so is the earrings.
Does Ricardo have any more of the jewelry?
I don't think so, no.
How much more does Betty have? She's got some melted down stuff, and what else does she have?
Another bag, I think.
How much jewelry do you think's in that bag?
I never seen the bag. I was just told that's what she has.
Okay. Did she tell you that, or you just hear it from somebody?
I know somebody that was hanging out with her. I think she was trying to hide it from me. She didn't want me to know what else
What
she
she
had.
had? Do you have any more jewelry that you hid somewhere?
I
Just
told
in
you
case
I,
you need.
I told you I did.
I
have
just
a
a couple
necklace
pieces,
in it. Yeah, it's nothing. I mean, the gold necklace and the eagle, and then I have that sterling silver ring stashed somewhere, and then I have 2 sterling silver earrings, and I do know I can get another ring and another gold bracelet. Yeah, but I sold it to somebody, but I can get it back.
How much stuff do you actually have that you can get your hands on? Not stuff that other people have. How much stuff do you actually have? Just that.
Just the necklace and the eagle.
And where's that at?
It's stashed somewhere where Betty stashed it.
Are we talking somebody's house or out in the desert or?
I have no idea. Listen, I'll get back everything that I sold.
Well, but that's not the problem. The problem we have is that you knew what you were doing when you took it. And you knew that it was stolen. And we have to answer to people that are climbing down our throat every day, especially K-Mart, over this thing. And it's just not that easy to say, okay, I'll give it back. I'm sorry now.
I'm not saying it's that easy.
Yeah, because I mean, before you came in today, I'll give it to you. We had a whole list of things that we thought you were responsible for.
I really did.
And you have been cooperative, and I don't think that's the case. I think it just comes down to now you made a poor choice by taking jewelry that was stolen and getting rid of it for money, and that's what it comes down to. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot more things that you could be held responsible for that we're really not looking at you for. You know, I mean, this could be a whole lot worse. But the fact that you have been cooperative makes us really not believe you're involved in more.
Are you on parole or probation?
Thank God, no.
Okay. Well,
I just got out. I just killed my number, not even 4 months ago, probably 5 months. I knew Joe was going to get me some fucking stupid bullshit.
well, we're not going to write up our report in a way to try to get you. That ain't gonna
It
happen.
doesn't matter. Just he always picks it up. Come on.
Well,
Let's be real.
Around here, I wouldn't bet on that. But neither way, we can't just say, okay, walk out the door. We can't do that.
What do you guys want?
Pardon me?
What do you guys need me to do? What do you want?
We don't want anything. We gotta do what we gotta do. If we walk in there and tell the lieutenant and the sergeant that we're going to say, okay, we're gonna make a deal with you, they're gonna probably fire us.
I'll bring you back all the jewelry.
Well, the pieces you've got.
How come you guys can indict Betty on charges and she was busted with you guys? There. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Betty, we understand. I can't answer that. I don't know.
The thing with Betty is she pulled up with those guys at the house and all the jewelry was on them. It wasn't an issue with her. And it wasn't an issue with her selling any of the jewelry or anything like that. Essentially what it came down to is, and don't get me wrong, Betty's not out of the woods. But for that time being, for what we knew, and the fact that we have the 2 people that committed the K-Mart thing, on our plate right then was something more important that needed to be dealt with.
We couldn't even show, other than Betty had some in her possession that she said that they gave her, and that's all we had. And that's why she was indicted on that part.